This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
What up, fam? How's everybody doing today? Try to be a little earlier than normal. Make sure you're tapping that like screen. Get my live out there. I've been doing a little studying up on some different stuff to do with the Giants. Recommended by a friend to look at a different angle. He would always talk about he would talk about paganism and the Greek gods, and I looked into it, and there was some pretty crazy stuff on Giants in their lore. So I found some good stuff, good ideas, great content on the history of the Giants and the Olympians. It's insane. How you doing? Good to see you here. Everybody rep their city. Let me know where you're at. I do hold a little Bitcoin, not much. Make sure you guys are tapping that like screen. Yeah, I believe in God. Salt Lake City, Atlanta, Georgia. What's up? What's up? Springport, nice. Lancaster, PA, cool. Utah in the house. Los Angeles, awesome. Covering the world, man. Covering the whole world. Denver, Detroit representing. That's what's up. Atlanta, or at Luna. Holy crap. Mikmakiakai Nation. Good to see you here, Fram. It's good to see you here. India. What's up, India? Luigi 1990, what's happening? How's everybody doing tonight? Pterodactyl eyes, huh? For real. Crazy stuff, man. Basically, this is the story of... I'm going to start off with the Titans versus the Olympians. The origin story of who are supposedly the Greek gods of legend today. But they talk about two different wars with the Giants in this lore, which I found to be very interesting. Not only that is, I noticed this was, so something always used to bother me about the fallen. The fallen being in the book of Enoch, they fell to earth and bred with the daughters of men, right? And they had these abominations, these giants, right? So I always wondered, because why every time I see a giant, does it look completely human? You know what I mean? They look like they're just massive humans. But I've always taken the fallen as a reptilian. Sorry, I'm at my mom's house. I heard my cat. A reptilian. I had always thought the fallen were the reptilian race. Okay, basically. Or at least that's what the idea was in the book of Enoch. The Watchers, they fell to earth. They bred with the daughters of men. So I had always wondered why, if reptilians bred with humans, women. If reptilians bred with human women, why didn't some of the giants come out with reptilian traits, right? They always came out just giant. That was the only trait they seemed to pick up from the reptilians. Well, this lore here, Greek lore, is the only lore or accounts I have ever heard or read that stated that the giants, in fact, had reptilian legs. Okay? And behind me is a picture of said giants with reptilian legs, at least illustration. Check it out. That giant has dinosaur legs. Okay? That's the only count I've ever seen where the giants are represented and do, in fact, have reptilian traits. This isn't the only picture. I found this one as well. Pretty cool. This one here. This is another giant. Reptilian feature. Reptilian legs. And it even said in some of the accounts that they had tails as well. Reptilian tails. So I thought, wow, there you go. There's my first connection to the fallen. Yes, absolutely being possibly reptilian. Okay? Just a theory that I'm working with. But basically, these abominations to God, they eventually became so powerful that they challenged God and the Olympians. Okay? And there was two different wars. There was the Titans versus the Olympians, which the Titans were supposedly the original rulers of Earth and the cosmos at the time Zeus was born. Okay? So then the Titans and Zeus have to go to war. This is called the Titan Maki. Okay? So I'm going to read a little bit of it and how it went, and kind of use decipher what you think, what you think took place exactly. So it says these wars took place in Thessaly and were also called the War of the Titans, the Battle of the Titans. Now, when I talk about this and when I read it, don't limit yourself to thinking it's just lore. Don't limit yourself to thinking. Think and relate it to what it could be and mean in real life. Like what beings could have been battling. You know, in ancient times, our human race was really young. So we would look at these battles, these epic battles, and we would make sense of them by dumbing them down to stories. But could they have been ETs? Could they have been super powerful beings of the cosmos that were here and fighting in this war on Earth? It said there's been three great Earth battles. Basically, an evil faction wants the Earth. They want the Earth for its resources and its gold. They want Gaia for its precious commodities. And that would be supposedly the fallen, the reptilian race, okay? They want it from the good federation of beings out there that preserve the organisms of which are Earth, or planets. You know, these planets are considered organisms. They're living, they're breathing, they're even conscious, whether people like to believe it or not. So these great battles take place, and I'm seeing this trend throughout all cultures. The Greek culture, the native culture, English culture, all of it, our culture. They all speak of these great Earth battles that take place in just different forms. So it leads me to just believe that it's possible that these battles were just super intelligent, good, evil factions that went to war, and they are fighting for this Garden of Eden, if you will. Maybe the entire Earth is the Garden of Eden. Maybe the Mother Earth is the only planet of its kind in the cosmos. I know there's other planets that support life, but there's something special about Earth that both factions want. They want to protect her, and then the other one wants to take her and just drink her dry of her resources, probably essentially killing the planet. That's probably the goal of the evil faction, or to make it a warring planet that they can use against other planets. It's hard to tell. You know, it's just theories, just spitballing, you know, a little bit. But so the Battle of the Titans, of the gods, or just the Titan War. These wars were between the Titans and the older gods, and the Olympians, a newer generation of gods. The Titans ruled Mount Othyris, and the Olympians would rule Mount Olympus. The Titans and the Olympians fought to decide who would rule the universe. In the end, the Olympians, who were led by Zeus, won. There were several poems about it. The one that's most popular is the Agony, and it's said to be written by Hesiod. The Titans and Olympians are mentioned in many other poems, particularly Orpheus. Before the war started, the Titans were in power, and Uranus was in charge of the universe. Uranus made his wife, Gaia, angry because he locked up some of her children. These children were the Cyclopses and the Hecatonkires. He locked them up in Tartarus, which was a prison deep below the earth. Gaia was very mad that Uranus had locked up her children, so she made them a giant weapon and told them to castrate their father, Cronus. Cronus was the only child that would do as his mother would tell him, so Cronus and his mother made a plan to overthrow Uranus. The plan worked, and when Uranus castrated, his blood fell to the earth and the sea. From his blood, several sets of children were born. The Gigantus, or the giants, the Erinyes, and the Melee were all born and made from the blood of Uranus. Aphrodite was born from, it was actually Uranus' blood that fell to the sea. Cronus was with his mother's help, managed to overthrow his father. Okay? But Uranus made a prediction that Cronus would be overthrown by his later sons because Cronus was afraid of losing the kingdom. He made the same mistakes his father did and turned into a terrible, angry king and did lots of horrible things to stay in power. He put his brothers back in prison and ate their children just to keep them from overthrowing him. But Rhea, his wife, managed to fool Cronus and keep one of his children safe. This child's name was Zeus. Okay? Rhea hid him in a cave on an island of Crete, on the island of Crete. Now, guys, have we not talked about the island of Crete in the Mediterranean? Being the home of the giants. Being the home of the giants. And if you go look, I'm telling you, go look. You will see footprints of giants all around along the ocean floor. Crete and Sardinia. I want to say Sardinia. Sardinia. Crete and Sardinia. If you go look on Google Earth, you will see giant footprints all over the ocean floor. Some of them 4,000 feet. I'm not even kidding you. 4,000 feet long. So that makes that giant 3 to 4 miles tall. Seriously. Check it out. It's probably one of the gods that they talk of, one of the Titans, right? One of the Titans that they talk of. Whether it been Poseidon, it could have been Zeus himself, it could have been Cronus. It's hard to say, but there was definitely giant footprint in the lore on Crete. The giant lore on Crete is extensive. They've found 15-foot tall axes on the Crete Islands. 15 feet tall axes. All kinds of skeletons. Some of them 40 feet tall. They even said to have found one 70 feet tall. Giant skeleton. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's just insane. So this is where it relates to real life. Like, I know this is supposedly a story, but I'm sitting here like the island of Crete. Holy shit. That's where Zeus was born. That's where the giants originated from. That's where I've found so much giant lore in the Mediterranean. And if you go look at it, you guys, I'm telling you, if you check it out on Google Earth and look underwater and you zoom in, you can see structures of megalithic property. They are huge structures for these giants that these giants made. They made them. There's just no doubt in my mind. So, yeah, just check it out. So he kept Zeus. She kept Zeus. This child was named Zeus. Rhea hid him away on the island of Crete. On the island, Zeus was raised by a goat named Amalthea. Once Zeus grew up, he went to his father's mountain to serve him as a cupbearer. His father did not know that Zeus was his son at the time. A Titan goddess named Metis helped Zeus fool his father into drinking a mixture of mustard in his wine. This caused Cronus to feel very sick. He threw up all the children that he had eaten one by one. Once Cronus had expelled all of Zeus's brothers and sisters, Zeus talked them into the rebellion against their father. This is what started the Titanomachy, or the Titans' War. Zeus and his brothers and sisters rebelled against his father Cronus. Zeus set the Cyclopses and the Hecatonkires free from their underground prison and convinced them to join the rebellion against Cronus too. Remember, Cronus had been the one who locked up all his siblings, so they agreed to join Zeus. The Hecatonkires used rocks as weapons, and the Cyclops made Zeus thunderbolts. Together, they also made Poseidon's trident and Hades' helm of darkness. Crazy stuff, right? The only Titans, the older generation, to fight with Zeus were Themis and Prometheus. This war lasted 10 years. Atlas was a major leader on the side of the Titans and Cronus. After the war was over, Zeus imprisoned all the Titans except for Themis and Prometheus, who fought for him. These titans were imprisoned in the earth the same way that Cronus, Hecatonchires, and the Cyclops once were. The Hecatonchires guarded the titans in their prison, but Atlas was such an important fighter for the opposition, Zeus gave him a special punishment of holding up the world. Okay, Atlas, what's he doing? Holding up the world. So that was his punishment for fighting the Olympians. He had to hold up the world for eternity. So Atlas was supposedly a very powerful giant. He was a very powerful figure for the Titans. I thought that was really cool. So after the Titans' war, Zeus and his brothers Hades and Poseidon decided to divide the universe into 3 parts. They drew straws to see who would rule over each part. Zeus drew the longest straw, so he was given the title of King of the Sky. This also meant that he was the head of the mortals, and all the gods too. Poseidon got the middle straw. He became King of the Sea. Hades drew the shortest straw, so he had to become ruler of the underworld. The underworld is also known as the realm of the dead. There are some differently told versions of the Titanochemy, one of which says that Zeus eventually lets the Titans go free. Once Zeus had reign over Earth, he decided to ask Prometheus and Themis to create man and animals to populate the Earth as a new generation of mortal beings. Themis created animals, and Prometheus was given the job of creating man. Themis took his job very seriously and finished all the animals before Prometheus had even decided what gifts to give mankind. By the time Prometheus was ready to give mankind the gifts, Themis had already used them on all the animals. Prometheus was so angry that he stole the godly fire back from Zeus and gave it to man. Zeus was so angry that he chained Prometheus to a mountain forever. Zeus was still so angry that he wanted to punish mankind. He did this by creating beautiful women named Pandoras. Pandora was given a box with a little bit of each of God's powers. Pandora then married and lived a happy life, until one day she got curious. Pandora and her husband decided to open the box. What's happening, my guy? What's happening? When they opened the box, all the evils of the world came spilling out. According to Greek mythology, this is where we get pride, envy, greed, pain, suffering, or anything bad. Pandora and her husband managed to close the box before every horror escaped. They only opened it one more time because the box whispered that it had hope inside and wanted to let it out. They did open the box then, and hope was released for all of mankind. Pretty cool story. I'd never heard any of that before. That was the first war. Now there's 2 Titan wars. And I'm going to read you a little bit about the second giant war. And this one's, it's fantastical. The pictures are really cool. I actually have some pictures here. This was the first one I had up. That's the first one of the war with the Titans, or the giants. And then here's Mother Gaia. And then here's Hades. But, yeah, I'll leave it on this one for now. So, the first giant war. So I'll read a little bit I'll start off by the first giant war and kind of go from there. It's quite long, but it's really intriguing. It's definitely, put it to what happened today and put it to what's going on. And keep an open mind as that it could mean something metaphorically that was possibly real at times. In ancient times, the giants rose from Tartarus to fight and destroy the gods. The giants were blessed that they could only be killed by a mortal and an immortal working together. The giants were formidable foes. The gods initially struggled against them. Now, think about this. How many wars they're talked about? They've talked about 3 Earth wars. And this last one was one for the ages. It said this last one was the toughest fought war. The giants were very powerful, and the gods were actually scared. They were getting nervous, okay? Now that tells me, and that brings it down to a reality subject. Who are these gods? Well, were they ancient ETs that were just higher vibration and of higher tech? Just these ancient Lemurians, all these different breeds of races combined to fight these bad evil beings that these evil beings concocted and bred with man. It makes you wonder. So the gods initially struggled, with Zeus even becoming afraid of his enemies. Now that's crazy. Zeus was afraid of thine enemy. Okay, these giants were freaks, dude. They were powerful, like the ones you see here. They were reptilian and human born, and they were fast, strong, and they could harness the power of the earth. Okay, so later, with the help of Heracles, who was immortal, and Dionysus, the strongest mortal of heroes of the time, the gods were eventually able to kill the giants. So while the gods were fighting amongst themselves during World War II, they call it, Gaia used this as an opportunity to overthrow the Olympians by reviving the giants. She appeared to be Marie Levesque, a lover of Pluto, and lured the women to Alaska with her daughter Hazel. Now beyond the power of the gods, Gaia began possessing Marie and forced Hazel to revive Alcyonus by calling up riches from the earth. On the night that Alcyonus was supposed to rise on a phantom island, Hazel sacrificed herself and her mother to delay the giant's rise by destroying the island. Eventually, Gaia also learned of the individuals who would be a part of the Prophecy of Seven. While Hera tried to bring the seven together, Gaia tried to break their spirits. She learned of Leo Valdez's role in the prophecy from Medea, a sorceress with the ability to see the future. When Leo was still a child, she trapped his mother inside a factory and approached Leo. Leo tried to protect his mother using his fire abilities, but it caused the entire warehouse to go up in flames, resulting in the death of his mother. Gaia remained mostly silent after this, staying quiet as the Titans began to rise during the Second Titan War. Okay? So the Second Giant War, freeing Hera. Khione then used her charm ability to lure Hera into the wolf house where she was trapped in a cage by Gaia, giving her a choice. She could either marry Gaia's son, Porphyrion, or let the earth consume her life. Desperate, Hera sends a signal to the demigod Annabeth Chase and told her to go to the Grand Canyon, and the boy who had a missing shoe will be her boyfriend, Percy Jackson. However, when she arrives, she finds the demigod Jason Grace instead. Annabeth is furious and questions Jason and his friends on where Percy was, and Jason and his friends had no idea on what she was talking about. So Annabeth and Butch takes Jason and his friends to Camp Half-Blood. Later, Hera Jason another calls when she was in the big house in the Camp Half-Blood. Okay. This doesn't... Hold on. That sounds a little different than... That sounds like Percy Jackson. I guess I'll continue, but that doesn't seem right. The Second Giant War. Releasing Thanatos. Meanwhile, Percy had been transferred to Camp Jupiter for a trade, according to Hera. He is pursued... No. That's still a cool story, don't get me wrong. I like Percy Jackson, but that was totally... not the Second Giant War I was talking about. I read a little bit of it yesterday. Hold on here. So the Second Giant War, they really struggled against them, and eventually they came to defeat them. It was going so good too. So basically, the Second Giant War, okay? I'm a freelancer because I know about it anyway. The Second Giant War was the latest war on this planet, and I believe they do coincide with each other, all right? The Second Giant War was the last of the third Earth Wars, okay? There's been 3 Earth Wars. In this Giant War, they gathered everybody, even humans, okay? And I've talked about this before, the Mexicatls, who I believe were actually the Egyptians. They sent them around the world, a seafaring group around the world, to talk to every human faction on the planet at the time, and to convince them to join their forces together, to become one, because that's what they do not want, love and light. It all goes back to this, and I talked to you guys about the black goo, you know what I'm saying, that was sent down here from the reptilians to corrupt mankind. I don't know why my dang hotspot won't connect. I hate not having internet, you guys. It drives me nuts. I hate not having internet. Off the internet all on my phone. So I'm using my computer on my phone internet. I'm hotspotting, so it's been a little bit of a bitch keeping shit organized. And I was actually going to read you guys too a story about the Epic of Gilgamesh. I didn't know if you guys had heard about the Epic of Gilgamesh or not, but very interesting story as well. Very interesting. I was also going to talk to you guys a little bit about Hercules and the Giants, Giant War. Okay, so I got the Giant War back. I found the right source now that everybody bailed. You can't slip up in these lives. If you slip up at all, people are so lame, dude. They just bail as soon as you fucking slip up. You can keep 300 people, but as soon as you say one wrong word, dude, bye. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys sticking around. You guys rock. Thank you so much for the gifts. All gifts are welcome and they help really, really well. I really need them. They definitely make a difference. So I've been popping, you guys, just to get real with you for a second before we go back into the shit. I've started popping on Facebook Reels. Okay? So check me out on Facebook Reels now. It's actually just my original, Facebook account because for some reason my, Night God account wasn't allowing Reels. So, my original Facebook, it's me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's who I am. So, if you guys are interested, check it out. Just look up Kyle Frisbee, Kyle Frisbey. And I've been sharing all my stuff on my reels on Facebook and it's popping. So, things are about to get big for me, I think and hope. I'm continuing to stay strong. I had to kind of take a little like media, like a little break. I'm staying at my mom's house right now. I had to clear up some things in my life that, I've been battling my own demons. I'm not proud of everything I've done and I'm not proud of, what I was doing, but I'm trying to change for the better and for you guys. So, things are going to change. You're going to see a different person on here, in a more, a real me, the real me. Everybody has a story, right? At the end of the day. So, I'm cleaning up my act, and trying to build a better future for me and myself, and on here. And I think that once I do that, something special is going to happen for me on this, and this is what I want to do. But as long as I was continuing to do what I was doing as well, I don't think I would have ever gone anywhere with this where I supposed to go. It may sound cheesy to you guys, but when I first started TikToking, I made a deal with God, dude. I sat there and talked to God one day and I told him, if you give me this opportunity, I'll get right in my life. And he gave me the opportunity, but I wasn't getting right in my life. I was taking advantage of it. So I think that if I get right, that, good things will come and he'll hold up his end of the bargain as long as I do mine. So, yeah, rock on. I mean, someday I'll tell the whole story. I mean, someday I'll tell the whole truth, but I'm afraid that at this moment, if I tell the whole truth, it could be held against me and maybe, and not for the good. I need to gain success before I have the success story. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, appreciate you guys for that. For real, Maurice. Appreciate you. Yeah, I have a lot of demons, you guys, so, but we all do, you know what I mean? You can't sit there and, say, woe is me, you know? Everybody has their battle. So, it's just if you take it head on or if you give into it and say the woe is me, right? So, rock on. Good to see you, 989 in the house. That's what's up. So I'm actually, yeah, I'm definitely keeping it private. But I just wanted to kind of clarify that. So I'm going to be working on some stuff, but I'm going to keep doing this and keep rolling with it, man. And hope to God that it's going to work out, dude. And something's going to pop for me, especially if I can start getting that reels on Facebook going. That's just more exposure in every which way. So a couple of my videos already got like 100,000 hits on the YouTube reel, or not YouTube, but Facebook reels. So things are turning out. And yeah, it's awesome. So, but I was going to talk to you guys real quick too about, did you guys see the, USS Connecticut, incident the other day? The USS Connecticut, incident. That shit was crazy, right? No, nobody saw that. So they kind of hit it, right? The USS Connecticut. Yes, he is. So the USS Connecticut was in the South China Sea the other day, and they didn't report it till 6 days after the occurrence, but they got in a large collision with something. They don't know what, or they do. They just ain't saying. I posted a video on it on my TikTok, and I posted a video on a couple other pages, but the USS Connecticut collided with something underwater, and it threw them, it threw 11 of their people down on the ground to injury. Like, some were mediocrely injured, some were actually pretty badly injured, okay? They didn't report that. That was actually let out by a news outlet, because originally they reported there was no injuries. When in fact there was. Now, they didn't report that a submarine hit them. They didn't report that they ran into a underwater hill. They didn't report that they ran into a cliff. They didn't report that they ran into anything. They ran into an anomaly that they do not know what it was. So I'm sitting back here thinking, well, the South China Sea, isn't that where the Indonesian sub sank? If I'm correct. This is real. This is truth. This is facts, guys. This is not fake. This is truth. This is not fiction. You can look it up. Look up USS Connecticut. Here, I'll post a picture in the background real quick. Check it out right here. And boom. Nope, that's different. There it is. USS Connecticut. The Seawolf class USS nuclear-powered fast attack marine USS Connecticut was damaged during an underwater collision with an unspecified object in the South China Sea on October 2nd. The United States Pacific Fleet confirmed today, and today was like the 6th or 7th. A statement by the fleet says that the submarine remains in a safe and stable condition. USS Connecticut's nuclear propulsion plant spaces were not damaged and remain fully operational. The extent of the damage to the remainder of the submarine is being assessed. The U.S. national not requested assistance. The incident will be investigated. Something that there are no life-threatening injuries to the crew, but it was actually reported that 11 sailors did in fact were in fact injured. So, what do we have here? It's funny, in lieu of my last post, that after I had my live about this and said something about my last post on TikTok, it went ahead and got the warning sensor put over the video. Warning, intense content or whatever, watch now or do not watch. That got put up above my last post about all these submarines. So I decided one day, I was like, you know what? All these undersea and underwater happenings, okay, that have been going on, and all these people claiming to see these massive underwater creatures. I'm going to look up the history of submarines and their encounters with sea creatures throughout the basically written history that we know of having submarines. So throughout the 1900s, late 1800s, right? In every world war, there are accounts, and they are written down. One of them was written early on of an account where the submarine was approaching a British naval ship. Okay, so they fired on it, and it was in the Irish Sea, if I'm correct. And they fired on this British naval ship, and they sank it within 30 seconds. Well, upon sinking it, a bunch of debris, as it was sinking, it exploded again. What was on this ship was cargo and warheads, essentially, bombs, basically, TNT, all you can think of, probably gunpowder as well. So as this British naval ship was sinking, while it was underwater, kaboom! Another massive explosion, like an atomic-style explosion happened. So this shot debris all over, even under the water. So the submarine was getting showered with this said debris. So they're trying to get around it and hightail out of there. Well, as they're trying to hightail out of there, they hear a loud screech, like something got hurt, right? Well, they look and they see, like literally jumping out of the water, a massive, they said 20 meter. So put that into feet, 60 feet to 70 feet long this creature was, jumping out of the water. They said it had a triangle-shaped head like an alligator, had a tail, but it had fins, not arms, fins, like a Loch Ness would. But it wasn't like Loch Ness, it had an alligator head, like a gar head. It jumped out of the water, injured from the explosion, and it fell back in the water, and it actually came at the sub for a while as it was trying to live through its injury. It attacked the sub, and it didn't have enough left. It basically, as it was attacking the sub, all of a sudden just froze, and it started to sink. So the explosion actually killed this said creature. Now, this account was written by a general that was very renowned at the time. He was very renowned for his accomplishments of war, very renowned for his accomplishments at sea as a submarine captain. So for him to put his neck out there and write this account and say, hey, this is my account, I'm sticking to it, and you ain't going to tell me I'm not right because I seen what I saw. So that's saying something. That's saying something that this general stuck to his guns on this account. That was just one of them. And then the next one was German U-boat 85, their account. One day, a British naval fleet was again in the Irish Sea, and they seen a submarine sticking up above the water. Well, they lock on, they get ready to fire on said submarine, but they see on this submarine that there's a group of men standing, waving white flags around, like, we surrender, we surrender. Because obviously they're obviously going, well, why ain't they submerging? They got to see us by now. Why ain't they submerging? Well, they pull up, and it's a German crew, and this is World War I. In 1915, I want to say, German ship was asked by the British captain what happened, what went on, why were you guys sitting there? Why is your sub just emaciated? He said they were sailing along, and they seen an anomaly in front of them, a black, dark anomaly, a large one. All of a sudden, they're just sailing, and they get ready to lock on. They think it's another submarine, and it just disappears into the depths, like fast, y'all, fast, like faster than a sub. So he's like, holy shit, what's going on here? This is weird. So as they're approaching, they see it again, and this is like a couple miles later. So this thing was stalking them, right? So they finally see the anomaly again a couple miles later, and they said they can literally see its teeth glistening in the moonlight. Okay, this creature's teeth. They figured it to be anywhere from 70 to 100 feet. They said they could see its teeth glistening in the moonlight when again it disappears into the depths. But this time, it comes down, and it comes from up under the sub, and it just grabs onto it with its jaws. Its teeth were so fierce and big, they actually pierced the steel hull of the submarine, causing extensive damage. So they are basically getting on a full on scale attack by this creature, and they actually start using their defensive weapons. They start shooting it. There's actually they get they first of all they get up they not submerge, but they float to the top. They emerge at the top of the water. They surface. Okay, right away. The first thing they did was surface, because you don't want to get stuck underwater with this thing. You got way less advantage, so you're gonna surface right away. And they actually hop on one of the gunners on the top of the sub, and dude, they're 50 cal in this motherfucker, like shooting at it, while this thing keeps attacking, left, right, fast. I mean, the thing is flying through the water. They said they couldn't believe how fast it was, and it causes so much damage to the sub. But finally, before it finally sinks the sub, the gunners worked. They got it. They didn't kill it, but they got it to where, okay, I'm done. I'm swimming off. So the beast swims off, and basically they can't submerge, so they stand on this sub, and they're out here just waiting for anybody to come along. And the first ones that do is these British naval fleet. Well, they pick them up, and eventually they go back for looking for the sub, and the sub sunk. The sub did end up sinking, and it was actually recently found. This sub was recently found in 2016. It was found by gentlemen that were laying electric lines under the Irish Sea. And they don't actually show pictures of the sub, because I imagine the damage would be pretty telling. It would be pretty telling. It's pretty obvious that there's something that, even if it's generational or if it breeds, whatever, that it roams the seas, and it is big, and it is a lethal motherfucker. Like, it's bad. It's prehistoric creatures, strange things. Why not? Absolutely, bro. It's there. They're there, guys. They're there, and they're big. They're big. Don't get it twisted. So these subs, why are they attacking subs? Well, what do subs look like to these creatures? Subs look like whales. Do they not? These creatures probably eat whales on the regular. They come up from the bottom and they eat whales, just like Megalodon used to. Swim up from the bottom and they take out blue whales. That's what they eat. Well, these subs look like whales, so they're coming up on these subs thinking they're about to get a fresh fish dinner, and they bite them. Bop! And they realize quickly, oh shit, that's steel. That's not a, but sometimes it might piss them off, or they get confused, so they think, well, this whale ain't gonna beat me, or whatever. You gotta put yourself in the animal's shoes, right? Like, and they're just gonna keep attacking these subs. Now the Indonesian sub, that's a weird one. That's a whole different story. That one was ripped into 3 pieces. And every passenger was missing. Every passenger was missing. Yes, they're bombing the oceans lately. Why? Okay. What is surfacing? Now, it did say that when volcanoes would start erupting is the sign of the return of the gigantes. So, actually, bro, they're all accounted for. You can go look up every account I just told. Read it and weep, bro. They're there. Every account I just told has been documented. It's written in history, mostly by captains. It's quite an insult to call them a liar. But yeah, anyway, so a lot of stuff is going down right now. A lot of things are changing in the world. These volcanoes going off, right? Hawaii quake today. There you go. Kiki Doll, it's good to see you, girl. I haven't seen you here in a long, long time. My name on Facebook is Kyle Frisbee, KYLEFRISBEY. Yeah, go ahead. Dude, just Google maritime or submarine encounters with sea creatures throughout world wars or history. Most of the time, they seem to happen during world wars. Now, why would that be? That's because there's a lot more subs in the water during world wars, right? So that's what's going to happen. Now, there's another story, if you guys want to look this up, in 1969. This wasn't necessarily during a world war, but it was probably during the Cold War, maybe, I don't know, maybe Vietnam. But there were 4 submarines that went missing that year. I mean, missing, okay? 2 French ones and 2 United States ones. They set out on a regular routine sweep of the area, and they literally just disappeared. They ended up finding 2 sank to the bottom of the ocean. They never tell of the condition. Why? Well, because it looks like they got ravaged by something. You know what I'm saying? But they found two of the subs, and and you can look at this up, 1969. 4 subs went missing that year, and 2 of them were never found, never located. All the technology they used to look for them, 2 of them were never found. So these subs are getting sunk. They're getting sunk by something colossal. You know what I mean? Not necessarily each other. So I think that that it's just being kept under wraps. You know what I mean? That these titans, if you will, these titans, right? They exist, fam. They exist. Godzilla. I mean, not saying Godzilla's real, but the one that the Germans described, they did describe it very much like Godzilla. That one. They said it had a lizard-like tail, etc. Yeah. So crazy stuff. Wild stories. I love them. I live for this shit. You know, whether you believe it or not, that's on you. You don't have to believe anything I say. But I just present the stories and present what I find, the facts that I find that are testament, and I relay them to you guys. And whether you guys want to believe them or not, that's on you. You know. But generally, people that are criticizable or criticizing, I mean, that like to be critics, generally they just don't like the reality that it could be true because they're scared. Let's be honest. They're scared. No need to be scared. They've been around for centuries. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's nothing new here. It's not that this is a new thing for people. They've wrote about titans and giants and all this stuff since the beginning of time. For some reason, our time on Earth, for some reason, it's been very oppressed of this information. We've been very sheltered of this said information for some reason. They shelter us from this information. I don't know why. To save us? I don't know. To save us from the headache of worrying about it? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Maybe so we're not so scared of the ocean. But yeah, it's been around for years, and I think some of them could be giant squid. Yeah, you guys can. Yeah, I think a tsunami is on the way. A tsunami is on the way. So there you go. You can read that if you guys want. Go ahead and check it out. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, this was actually just released. I got sent this on my Instagram from a fan. And I have another one too after this about an alien encounter in 1971. An alien encounter with a U.S. fleet. U.S. naval fleet gets in a battle with an alien, E.T., and I have pictures too. That look pretty telling to me. I don't know about you all, but they look pretty telling to me. Yeah, I don't know why this wasn't heavily publicized. The USS Connecticut connection, or the USS Connecticut battle, it wasn't heavily televised. It was kind of kept under wraps. Why? Well, because they probably didn't want to tell anybody exactly what happened, you know? It could all be just a simple run-in with a whale, you know what I mean? I find that hard to believe, but it's possible. It's possible. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this the ET picture up, the battle with the ETs here. This is the actual picture here. This was taken by a submarine known as the USS Trepang. They were practicing specialized maneuvers at the time in order to capture pictures and video of said UFOs that they had been encountering in the Atlantic Ocean on the regular. Okay? So they made up a sub that was specialized in strictly footage surveillance, basically. the naval fleet would get in an impending battle with this said alien craft. You can see here in this picture where it's smoking, right behind my head, where it's smoking. You can see where in this picture it came out of the water, right here, right? This picture it went into the water, probably smoking, because it'd been hit. Apparently, it had been hit, and there is record that says that we have battled with UFOs, not just once, but many times. There's an there's an account where Iranian jet force battled a UFO in the desert, and supposedly they got one of theirs shot down in the process. One of their jets shot down in that battle, because basically these new UFOs are unstoppable. We can't even begin to start fucking with them. They're way too fast, way too high tech. But here's a little bit more of the reading if you guys want to see the reading. If you guys want to go ahead and read that. Pretty interesting stuff. The images we show you have been published on the Black Vault website and are classified documents where UFO sighting reports are written with relevant photographs taken by the U.S. Navy precisely from a submarine. The USS Trepang nuclear submarine would have recorded the good quality images of the unidentified flying objects. According to the English Daily Huffington Post, some black and white images released by the crew of the USS Trepang submarine recorded in March 1971 could be evidence of secret surveillance maneuvers conducted by the United States. According to the presence of the forms of alien life, the U.S. Navy at the time had sent one of the subs of the Sixth Fleet, the USS Trepang, in order to monitor strong alien connectivity or activity in the seas of the Atlantic Ocean, but also closely study these aircraft and see where they get their energy that is gifted to them. They wanted to know where the energy came from that was gifted to them. And they wrote it like that, gifted to them. I thought that was very interesting. Gifted by who? The gods? Who knows? I don't know who. But it's very interesting that the U.S. military said they wanted to know what energies that had been gifted to these extraterrestrials. I found that very intriguing. I thought that was very cool. So, basically, they're saying that there's a higher power out there giving these energies, these forms of energy to these said aliens. Like, you can't make this shit up. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Rope. Thank you, Forecast. I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate that compliment. I love when people compliment me, dude, not hate on me. Yeah, the Fallen. There you go, brother. You hit it on the head. Where'd they get these energies? The Fallen. Who are the Reptilian, bro? I hate to say it, dude. I had a hard time with the Reptilians. That took me a long time to... Because, dude, it just sounds insane, right? A hybrid reptilian humanoid that looks like a dinosaur, that walks around intelligently, can speak, has tech. Yeah, dude, that is hard to grasp for people, all right? And that's why I don't talk about it a lot, because it's hard to grasp for people. It really, really is. When people hear you talk about reptilians, they say, get out of here. You know what I mean? They just totally just shoo you out instantly in their head, right? You're not credible, you're crazy. You know what I mean? So, but it's real, guys. And that's why I showed you those giants. That's why I showed you those giants. And that had always bothered me. I'm telling you guys, that had always bothered me. I always used to think, how are the giants all human? Wouldn't they have reptilian features if they had bred with the daughters of men? Where are the scales? Where's the tails? Where's the green? Where's the fangs? Where's the, you know what I'm saying? Well, there you go. Finally, I read one account of Greek lore that said they had reptilian legs and tails. The giants did. And think about it. You got T-Rex legs and a human body. Your top half is human, but you got T-Rex legs. And you're fucking flying, bro. You're running 100 miles an hour. I saw this awesome clip, dude, from the movie Jack the Giant Slayer. If you watch it, I saw this awesome clip on Instagram the other day of from Jack the Giant Slayer. Awesome movie. I highly recommend Jack the Giant Slayer. These giants were probably 80 to 100 feet. But it was funny in one of them because they showed just how athletic the giants really were. One of them smelled out a human. One of them smelled out a human standing behind a tree. And he's like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. So he runs. He starts running, bro. And this giant just goes, huh? And watches him run for like 2 minutes. And then he's just like, woof, woof, woof. 3 steps and he pushes his hand on him, dude. Just pushes him to the ground and he's like, you know, it's so crazy. But that's how fast they would be in real life. They would just fly, dude. They would fly 100 to 200 miles an hour if they were 100 foot tall. Bet me they couldn't run 150. You know what I mean? Like, it seems crazy, but it's not. If they were actually athletic as we are in our bodies and our size, they're not just going to be slow, dumb klutzes. They're not just like Bigfoot. Bigfoot is not a slow, dumb klutz. He is not. They're fast, they're strong, they are fierce. And they can move, y'all. Move. Oh, Percy Jackson, dude, I love those movies. Those are great movies, bro. Those are great movies. Yeah, I'm talking Bigfoot can run 70, fam. 70. Don't get it twisted. Bigfoot ain't no klutz. He runs 70, bro. A 10-foot tall Bigfoot can touch 70. They can catch deer. Let's put it that way. And Bigfoot's actually really cool, dude. I love the lore of Bigfoot, too. Bigfoot's actually a very gentle being. Bigfoot has watched humanity throughout history. Bigfoot's been around for millennia. They have watched people throughout history. They've watched every type of person that has been here. There's been up to 5 types of humans put on this earth. And there's going to be a total of 7 different human races that they're going to try and instill into their world and put on this earth, right? We're the 5th kind, so there's still 2 more to come, which is kind of scary in that thought, too, at the same token. But there's been, and they all descend from the Atlanteans and the Lemurian races. Those were our root races. The Atlanteans and Lemurians were our root races. And then came along the ETs, like the Fallen. The Fallen actually corrupted the DNA of man. That's why God was so angry with them. When they came to earth and bred the daughters of man, they corrupted our DNA forever. And that goes along with the gray aliens as well. They corrupted our DNA as well. But the reptilians are at the helm of all of this. The reptilians are at the helm of all this. The reptilians convinced the Atlanteans on earth. Now, this is the lore. This is supposedly the beginning of it all, okay? Of all the evil on earth and all the war and all the good and evil, the reptilians, the light beings, the Galactic Federation, etc. This is supposedly how it went. Mother Earth creates an energy, and it's a life form type energy that comes from the ocean water, and it starts at the depths. You're talking the primordial goo, okay? I used to laugh at the notion of primordial goo. Primordial goo is all the elements that make up what we call so-called life, okay? I used to laugh at the notion of primordial goo. I used to thought, really, you think we came from a primordial goo? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, in fact, it's not. It's not. That one blew my mind. Look up black goo. I talked about this the other day on my live. It was a pretty good one. I got like 1,000 views on YouTube right now on it. People are interested in this black goo. Graphene oxide. Graphene oxide. It's basically made up of single atom elements like monoatomic gold, things like that. It's been used to actually regrow limbs, regrow teeth, keep you younger. It's all kinds of stuff. It's nuts. But the earth creates this naturally in the ley lines throughout it. And the energy can be used, but the energy that the earth creates is love and light. All the energy, or mana, basically call it mana, God's mana. All of it created by the earth is love and light, and taps into all 7 chakras. Well, the Atlanteans were convinced with by being given technology from the gray aliens and technology from the reptilians to open a portal in the universe to allow the reptilians into the said portal. Well, after they opened this portal, they sent a bunch of meteorites with black goo, their own black goo, the reptilian black goo, okay? The black manna, if you will, the reptilian kind. They sent a bunch of meteors here. Well, as those meteors hit, they blew open and the black goo spilled into the earth, and it contaminated the earth with the evil black goo, which actually it does things like possess a person. You guys, like, this stuff is real shit. Like, the people that do these dirty things, these people that do these evil things, like this Brian Landry guy, you know, this stuff, it has to do with it. It convinces these people to do these things. And it's not, and I'm not trying to give him escape because he did what he did, but this stuff has to do with it. It's a distraction. It's something that's supposed to be done. It brings the evil. Now, this mana can be, it's just like Venom, just like the movie Venom. It can be, it's swayed towards good or bad. It can be swayed towards good or evil. Even the evil mana can be turned good, right? But if you are not a godly person, or you're not a good energy person, if you're evil, if you're inherently not very good, it's easier for it to take you. Now, it's said that this black entity, this black life form, can also be turned in is what we today think of as demons. You know what I mean? It gives a scientific explanation to demons, not just a spiritual one, but a scientific explanation to demons. Okay? When it takes on its evil side, when it takes on evil form, they manifest and it can become demonic and take over body. They look for bodies that are open. They look for bodies that have no souls at certain times. That's why they say astral travel is very dangerous, because it opens your body to possession or takeover of these said entities. And you guys, these are as real as it gets. Last night, dude, I'll tell you guys this story, dude. I don't know if I should. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but since I've been trying to do right? Since I've been trying to go in the path of light and not in the path of dark, okay? It was like last night when I went to sleep in my house, my mom's house, that I don't stay here very often, but I was staying in my stepsister's room because my grandmother and my basically step-grandfather are staying here because my grandmother has not been doing good. So I had to stay up in the upstairs room, in my stepsister's old room upstairs. And that's fine. I'm not, like, scared or anything like that. But I kid you not, you guys, I had the hardest time falling asleep last night. And when I finally did, I fell into this realm sleep, or this REM sleep, where I was partly awake and I was partly sleeping. And dude, I don't share this with just, you know what I mean? I love you guys, so I'm going to share it with you. I want to just it's nice to be able to get it off my chest too, because I'm telling you guys, and I'm telling you again and again, when you partake in evil things, like when you partake in things that you know are bad, you open a door. You open a door, okay? And I'm talking to something that is not good. You open a door to the evil, the demonic, and I'm not trying to talk like a freak, dude. I'm not, but it's true. I seen it with my own eyes last night. They were begging me, you guys, and I'm like getting chills even saying this. They were begging me to stay. They were begging me to stay. And they were all around me. I could see them. They were real. They were manifesting. I was saying, like, because, dude, so my mom, like, I had like a weird, like, slight intervention or something the other night with my mom, and as we were leaving, I told her I want my cross. I need my cross, because she was taking me from my house, and then she had telling me to come stay here. I just been going through a lot emotionally, you know, so I kind of went off, you know, just went a little. I didn't go like off the deep end or anything, but I just had a little rowdy night. I got a little rowdy, okay, to say the least. So I had this but I told her, grab my cross, don't forget my cross, and she couldn't find it, so we didn't grab it. And you guys, I'm kidding you not. As I was laying in bed, I woke up in that REM sleep, and there was a woman standing next to my bed. She was tall and skinny. And on top of that, I look to my door, and I can see, and I'm getting chills talking about it, I can see something reaching around the edge of my door, fingers reaching around the edge of my door. I'm not making this up, like trying to pull itself in. And then I start praying in my head, right? I start saying the Lord's Prayer because I know the Lord's Prayer like the back of my hand. Oh, Father, who art thou in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, because I'm seeing these things, and I'm hearing them, okay? And dude, I told my mom about this morning. She told me I was hallucinating. I said, no, I was not. I don't believe I was hallucinating. I'm hearing them, and I'm saying, who Father art thou in heaven, hallowed be thy name, kingdom come, blah, blah, blah. Calling on I was even calling like the Archangel Michael and all this stuff, you guys. All this stuff I've been studying. They say that you can call on him if you ever need help. And dude, after I would say what I had to say, I would forget to say amen. Okay? I would forget to say amen. And this freaking thing it was at the foot of my bed, and it would go, I can't make this shit up. It would go, say amen, in a growling like voice, dude. It would say amen. And I would go, amen. You know what I mean? And then it would still be there. So I said, I'll call on the Archangel Michael. I call on the Archangel Uriel. Please come help me. Please come help me. Because I'm panicking in this REM sleep, dude. And once again, it would go, say amen. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. And I'm saying amen. And then I fall asleep again. And I wake up in this place, dude. And this little girl was following me around with a deformed face, saying, why are you leaving us? Why are you leaving us? And I'm fucking running, bro. I am running in this dream. And she's following me, saying, why are you leaving us? Why are you leaving us? Like I'm leaving the demonic behind. And I can't make this shit up, you guys. When you do things that are evil and inherently bad, they are attached to it. And whether you, like my dog dying, my sister's dog dying, you know, evil shit like that takes place. Evil around you will take place and you won't even realize what it is. But it's the bad things you're doing in life, man. Dude, it was like an epiphany, dude. It was like what I needed, because it was the most real experience I've ever seen. And it was just yesterday morning. And call me crazy. You can call me what you want. I don't care. I know what I've seen and I know what I took part in. And it was the evil that was trying one last time. It was the evil trying one last time. And I stayed true. I'm staying true. And after that, dude, I'm telling you guys, dude, after that, I'm staying away from anything ever again, bro. Ever again. That's all I needed to see. I had them things attached to me, man. And that stuff attaches to other people that you're around, your loved ones. It attaches to your family, your friends, your kids, bro. If you bring it around, it'll attach. And all those ones that were around me were probably from another host that come over and attach to me. And you leave a door open when you're doing dirt. That's just a little side lesson of life, that it's real. It's real. Don't think it's not, guys. It's there. It's out there. It's real. Stay true to the light, man. Stay true to the light, dude. Stay true to the love and light. Be kind to others. Do right in life. And kids, guys, stay away from fucking any drugs. Seriously, just stay away from them. Because they're evil. Period. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to go much further on that because I don't want to get banned or anything. But just stay away. Like, I tear up fucking telling this thing. I'm trying to be real with you guys as I can because you guys are my fans. And I'm trying to be even real with TikTok. I'm trying to change my life. I'm trying to do right. And I know I was doing wrong, and I'm trying to change it. So, but it's real stuff, guys. Stay away, dude. We need more love and light now than we ever have in this world at this time. Okay? Because that's what it's poisoning. It's all poisonous. All of it. It's all part of the big old scheme of the evil to win. That's poisoning us. They're poisoning us. And they're flowing all this stuff in, and it's poisoning people. It's keeping us away from our hearts and our chakras and our ability that could be something special. Like, I'm talking powers that we could harness from Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. No doubt about it. They do. It's all about love and light right now. Yeah, but you can still be love and light. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Black tourmaline, huh? Yeah, they are, dude. They are both real, bro. What's up from Vegas? Yes. Demons are real. It's real. I'm not mixing anything. We aren't evolution. We didn't evolve from monkeys. A bowl of salt? Interesting. Bigfoot skeletons, they dispose of all their bodies, dude. Salt, any type of salt. Do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear that? The scratching? You guys hear that scratching? Isn't that weird? I'm out in the garage, it's like, sounds like it's like in the basement or something. All this freaking demon talk, dude. Shit freaks me out, yo. Don't fucking underestimate that shit. I don't like it. Scary, dude. Listen to this shit. Did you hear that, guys? Doesn't that sound like breathing? Bro, I sucks, dude. My mom and my stepdad took away my... Fucking pisses me off. I hate not having it. I feel so defenseless. I feel defenseless as fuck. I hate it, dude. Weird. Probably just a freaking critter. Probably just a coon or something scratching somewheres. That's what I figured. No, I'll get it back, dude. I'm going to talk to my mom about it tomorrow. I'm not messed up anymore. Yeah, I've been trying to, dude. I told my mom I asked to get a Bible and shit. Dude, it's weird because, dude, this is where my sister, where my sister lost her life was down in my basement. And I don't like it sometimes. Sometimes I get weird vibes from this place, dude. Like we were built on, like, ancient burial grounds or something. Because my mom and dad built this house, my mom and stepdad. And it was in an old grass field. And sometimes I wonder, man, like, if there ain't something evil around here, dude. After seeing what I saw. And my mom and my stepdad have never been super religious, you know? I always do because of my grandma Frisbee. But it stopped. Weird. Yeah, I should look into the history of the land. All right, you can try, bro. Dude, I've been on late, weird times, bro. I've been on late at weird times. Thank you. I should. I need some sage, bro. I need some sage. What if, bro, it's not nothing about atheism? What if it's just higher beings that are in our cosmos that we look at like God, but not God? Things. Well, do you believe in that? Do you believe in aliens there, and Anakin Presley? Is that from Anakin Skywalker? So, guys, speaking of this, though, if you guys want, vibe out. I got some pretty cool stuff posted in my shop, my Shopify. This is a pretty cool bracelet. It's a 7 chakras bracelet. It's a 7 chakras bracelet with lava stones. They're only $20. Check them out in my store. On my store. I got this one too. Tiger's Eye. Pretty cool bracelets. Check them out in my store. I think you'll dig them. Check them out. Order some. I got even more than that. I even got this too. This is pretty cool. I got these for the ladies. And then this one's kind of for the ladies too. 3 different types of Tiger's Eye to change your vibes. It's all vibes and aura stuff. And then I got this too. This is cool. Hold on here. Did I take a picture of it? I thought I did. Oh shit, hold on. Sorry. I'm selling some of this stuff too. It's supposed to be all for good vibes. Let me see here. Where is it? I got healing stones for the household. I was going to say home protection. So checking out some of those. Like comes in a set, supposedly. So if you guys order one, let me know. Well, you'll let me know. It'll be on my Shopify. I'm still trying to get it popping. Trying to make a variety of different things. Sell a variety of different things. I think just vibes right now. I like the vibe stuff. The chakra stuff is really cool. But I also have a 7 chakras bag, a stone bag that I'm selling here. Where are you at? Right here, boom. It's got all the chakra stones in it. Check them out. Pretty fair pricing. They're right on my main page. But yeah, I know the reptilians and all that stuff. The reptilians are behind all of it, even the demons, even the darkness. The reptilians are behind all of it. Shit's got me kind of spooked. I'm not even gonna lie. Hearing shit now. What guy on TikTok? What guy are you talking about? The Mini Minute Man? Yeah, Mini Minute Man. He's just a hater. He's just a hater. That's all his account's about, is hating on other accounts. He's an archaeologist. He's an archaeologist who thinks he knows something, but because he was taught something. He was taught mainstream media. He was taught mainstream education. I'm teaching truth. He's teaching fake. Why is he still hating on my videos? I haven't even checked his page in a minute. Yeah, he's indoctrined. Alex Cross, Yeah, the reptilians are winning, unfortunately. What? Forecast? What you talking about? Yeah, he's the pop version of history. Yeah, I'm curious. What you talking about? What's the price? Because right now they're letting me get away with sharing it. No, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this too. This guy hit me up about this awesome project he's working on. That'd be cool to go to Inner-Earth too, it would. So he's hit me up, basically wants me to start kind of, putting it out there. This really cool project that he's working on called There Were Giants. And it's this series, it's actually a legit movie series. This guy the producer has worked with Netflix, all kinds of different TV shows, TV channels. But it's a movie they're writing about There Were Giants. Basically they awaken this giant in the movie. Very cool. It's actually high quality. It's not cheesy. It's really actually very cool movie. I'll have to do a little duet. I plan on doing a duet with one of the guys on TikTok that shared the video to try and advertise it. Well, I plan on doing a duet with the said video, which is really cool. It looks really interesting and very intriguing. I think they more so just want my help advertising it because my platform and what I've got going on Instagram and stuff like that. So I'll let you in on that stuff too. That'll be pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about it. Hopefully it comes to something. Basically hopefully for advertising, I'm going to bargain a 10% stake in the series. So if I advertise it and get it out there, and I do get said 10% stake in the series, and it hits Netflix or something like that, you're talking buku bucks. Oh yeah, the Giants. So I can talk a little bit about the Giants. So with all the volcanoes erupting, they said that's a result of the Giants awakening, right? Well, Corey Goody, was Corey Goode, and then there's another gentleman, was a part of the secret space program. And I had just heard about this recently. It kind of blew my mind. I was like, holy shit. Basically, these giants are in stasis. They're in cryostasis, in crystal chambers that they were put in way back 10 to 30,000 years ago, right before the Great Flood. These giants were put into this stasis, basically to preserve them for the fourth great Earth War that will take place, maybe not in our lifetime, but sooner or later, it'll be a fourth great Earth War. And that it's said to supposedly take place when these giants begin awakening. And right now, it seems like they're awakening, especially if the volcanoes erupting have something to do with it. I don't know why they would. I haven't really put that together in my head very well. Doesn't really make much sense to me. That's just some old Greek mythology. But anymore, I look at everything subjectively, that it could possibly be referenced of truth, because that's what it's fringe. It's fringe idea. It's fringe way of thinking. It's taboo at times. But you know what? The highest thinkers in the world were taboo in their time. The highest free thinkers in the world, the best of the best, the Teslas, the Einsteins, they were not favored in their time. And that's because of their way of thinking was much more advanced than anybody around them. So when people hate on our way of thinking, or they hate on what we talk about, just remember that. You're just above average thinker. You're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the curve. At the end of the day. So they've been waking up from the cryostasis that they're in, and they've been emerging on Earth. I know you guys seen that video of the one that was double the size of the tank. He stood as tall as two of those tanks. Like, holy shit, right? That dude is huge, fam. He's like 16 feet tall. Like, my stepdad's a skeptic. He's very logical in his thought process. He's very subjective. He doesn't, or objective, if you will, to most of the stuff I talk about, to be honest. But he's a good guy. He humors me at times. He listens, and no matter what, dude, I notice that when people listen, I'll say things that'll trigger their belief, because there's certain things that are just uncannily true and coordinated with things in the past. You know what I mean? It's almost at times undeniable. You know what I mean? So I'll say things like that, and it'll kind of raise his ears up a little bit, like, oh, wow, that did happen. That is true. That's weird, It's kind of fun. But no, I even showed him the video of that giant. And yeah, dude, he did it. He bought. He definitely believed it was a giant. In the way it crawled into the ground like it did. And then I started explaining to him, I said, well, Dave, that's why we left all that equipment over in Afghanistan, to help them fight these said giants. Well, wow, we blew up most of it. Well, yeah, that's what they said. You know what I mean? Were you there? Because they did not. They basically wanted to equip them with not Toyota Tacomas with turrets in the back, with warthogs that took beatings and you know what I mean? Like, come on. So that's why they left it. That's one thing I'll never be able to quit, is the plant giveth to us by nature. Anything nature is okay, plant-wise. But, yeah. See, and that's what okay, so the Giants, I'm having a hard time with that, because there's been accounts where, yes, the Giants were good. There's been accounts where, yes, Giants were good. And then there's been accounts where, yes, the Giants were bad. And I have such a battle in my head with that. There's got to be both types, right? There's got to be both types. At the end of the day, there just has to be. So it's hard to tell, and it kind of sucks, because it's like, what side are we on? Like, you know, if supposedly the reptilians have taken over most of the, you know, officials or whatever, then those are the ones that are killing the giants. So in that case, they're killing them because they're good, right? I've heard two different sides. They're here to stop mankind from ascending. I've heard they're here to help mankind's ascension to the next dimension. I don't know. I'm torn on that one. Because in one of the battles, the first one with the Titans, Zeus uses the giants as allies to defeat the Titans. He uses the giants. Then the fallen must happen, and the giants become corrupt, maybe. And they breed with the reptilians. And maybe that was what happened. Maybe that was when the giants went bad. So maybe initially they were good. And then the fallen took place, and they turned some of them bad, but there's still a good generation of giants out there. I believe that pretty easily. Yes, in most native lore, yes, they were evil. Now, in Greek mythology, there's two sets of giants, okay? There's the frost giants that lived in Antarctica, the frost giants, which was where Loki was from, the frost giants. And then there was the fire giants. I believe the fire giants to be the red-haired giants in history, because red hair, fire, right? And then you got the frost giants, which most likely had blue eyes and were maybe blonde. Frost giants, blonde. Maybe the Nordics, right? Kind of just putting that together in my head. The Nordics had blonde hair, blue eyes, and were white. They looked like frost giants. Then you had the red-haired fire giants, the red-haired North American giants, right? Nordic. Sorry, I appreciate that. So Greek and okay, they're different. They're different. Okay. Norse and Nordic were the Vikings, but didn't they align with Greek mythology? Didn't the Nordics and stuff align pretty much with Greek mythology? Didn't they believe in like Odin and Zeus and all of that? The Titans are Greek. Okay. Didn't the Vikings believe in Greek mythology? They talk about Odin, they talk about Zeus, they talk about Apollo. Pretty sure they did. Just saying. The gods were different? Okay. Celt mythology. Okay. Well, I appreciate the correction then. More pagan? More pagan? We're Nordic gods. Okay. So Apollo and all them were Greek. Okay, see, Zeus was a Greek god. See, there you go. So now we're just like at bay here. Always, bro. Okay. Ooh, I like it, Monstro. There are 5 different giant ethnicities. 2 are evil. Bro, you got to share some of that with me. Is that from Grandpa? Is that from Grandpa, bro? I've never heard that once. 5 different types of giants, 2 were evil. Never heard that once. Zeus equals Thor. Loki equals Hermes. Same god, different names. Interesting. Yeah, getting into the Norse mythology stuff is definitely a whole new ball game for me. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, dude. It's in depth. It's in depth. I try to keep it that way. I can't in the background, no. Thor was the son of Zeus. Good, man, good. Good to see you. Yeah, true. Good point, Maurice. Good point. Good point. You hungry, Katie? I think Kitty's hungry. Hold on here. All my stuff is at Night God 333. All of it. My YouTube. My Facebook's just my name. Nice. That's cool. I gotta get some grub, guys. Oh, you know what's really good? You ever have these pieces? I can't see them. They're basically cheese and caramel popcorn. Ooh, itching. 7-Up, why not? That's one thing you gotta love about Ma's house, you know what I'm saying? All the food in the world. More food than you can ever eat. And that's all I do when I'm here, I eat. Freaking pig. Yeah, buddy. Hold on here. Yeah, it's definitely good to see y'all. I'm going to start getting my lives a little more consistent, too, by midnight. It's awesome. Yuck, you don't like it? She said yuck about my cheese. Sounds weird, but it's enough. 1 cheddar, 1 caramel. What about the moon? Hello, Oklahoma. Yeah, keep tuning in, guys. Also, I post all my lives the next day on YouTube. So you can go back and watch them. I have every live I've ever done on YouTube. Oh, I saw a crazy one the other day on that. The moon being hollow. I forgot about that. This guy was talking about how the moon has 14 different levels. And each level has its own purpose. All the way down to, from surveillance to even lab experiments, right? Even lab experiments. The moon is absolutely a spaceship. Supposedly. Of extraterrestrial origins. Basically what I think these higher factions do is find perfect asteroids or space rock, and they have the ability to core them out and use them as a object of travel. Think about it. Put some energy towards it, thrusters, whatever. If you could do it great enough scale, you can make planets or asteroids into absolute solid space stations. Oh yeah. I can dig it. They found a really long spaceship on the moon. Supposedly Odin kills the frost giants. Dude, that was another crazy one. The dome thing. In one of the stories about the battles with the giants and the gods, or the Olympians, when Poseidon battles the greatest giant, Procles or something. It started with a P. Procles. Supposedly in that battle, it was so great, and it happened at such great heights that they broke the dome open. No, it wasn't Prometheus. He wasn't the giant. At Night God 333 on YouTube. Or just Night God. You'll see my NG emblem. We're not in purgatory, the shadow people are. Ha. I think so. I think when they broke the dome open is when the flood came. NG for Night God, like in my picture up here. That's the NG emblem. I don't think Earth's a prison planet. Shadow people are stuck in purgatory. They weren't good or evil, so they get stuck. Sometimes I believe in the firmament. We're stuck in time, which is like purgatory. Interesting. What you mean, bro? What don't you like? The purgatory stuff? I mean, you're not going to like everything I talk about. That's what I like to think. Big school of life. Everybody is entitled to their beliefs. And I believe everybody's beliefs should be listened to with the intent or open-mindedness that it could be true, because it's their truth. What, do the shadow people scare you, bro? Because they should. They're real. I hope one comes and sees you. Yes, we have. Oh, they're real. Wait till you see your first one peek around the corner. So they said, do you know who Chakra is? Have you ever seen that guy with the YouTube that lives in that house where he constantly gets shadow people? And they'll run right at him and he'll run right at them. Have you ever seen that video on YouTube? Where he turns the corner and there's one and he runs at it? Yeah. That guy's house is nuts. Yeah. I forget his name. If somebody could find out who that YouTube guy is, comment it. Everybody needs to watch his shit. If you don't believe in shadow people, watch his shit. Yeah, he's a savage, bro. That guy's got balls the size of Texas. For real. He runs right at him. He don't even care. He don't even take no money for his YouTube. He's got like 250,000 followers. He don't even take no money for it. He just lives in this house that's like hyper haunted. And he sees shadow people all the time. Like literally crawling in windows, moving, like wild shit, bro. Like laying in a bed, like the shit like I've never seen. I forget his name, man. Always comes in the bedroom window. Yeah, boy. Popcorn, caramel corn with cheddar caramel corn. Alright, I'll look him up. I'm not from Australia, my guy. I can believe that. I know. I'm telling you. Somebody find that guy on YouTube. And tell his name. What up, New Jersey? Cool, man. I'm glad. I try to keep it cool. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Can't complain. 7-Up. 7-Up. Thank you. Mini Minute Man still been hitting my videos. Mad because he's still at only 500,000. 33. Yup, Kitty was hungry. Why do I sound like a little kid? With the stuff I'm telling you. Oh, you know what? Mom hit him on me. Giovanni should be paying me. Giovanni yogurt. The good stuff. I like going to sleep on a full stomach, you know what I mean? This stuff is awesome, dude. I kind of see what the fuss is about. It's got nice fruits at the bottom. Oh, yeah. Is that mature? I was waiting because of my beliefs. Everybody thinks I'm immature. Australian creatures. Really? Supposedly they found a couple pyramids in Australia that were laid in gold. It's just a giant. Here's my real background. Mom's house. She got a nice house. A lot nicer than my trailer. This is Mom's house. Enjoy kitchen. Well, she gets it. Ma gets it. So is my stepdad. They make money that like our generation pretty much is impossible to make anymore. Let's be honest. But they worked hard. They worked their asses off. Yeah, I love it here, dude. I miss living here. I really do. I miss living here at times. You know that feeling? The dark web? What are you talking about? Yup. Kent the Giant? Project Bluebeam? All right, cool. Thanks. Have a good one, man. No, dude, I looked into the Jack and the Magic Beanstalk or whatever. I looked into the origins and the lore of that, and like, I don't know, man. It was weird. There was a lot of weirdness about it. It was basically a story written in a book, or a book comprised of a bunch of different stories, and it was like the last one. And one of them, he was like him and his grandmother, and they all like they were like together, and it was weird, yo. It was weird, yo. I couldn't grasp it. I was like, no, man, this is just too much. It was totally a made-up story. It really doesn't have any origins. I'll say that about Jack and the Beanstalk. It's totally made up. It didn't have any real truth origin to it. Not that I could find. I looked a lot. Yeah, that is weird, okay? The stairs found in the forest everywhere. That is definitely a weird one. I got to do a little more research on that. Some people think they're to another dimension. Like, one guy, I remember one story about it where these 3 kids, they went out and found one. And when one of them stepped on the stairs, bad things became of all of them. Like it let something loose or something. The reality around them changed to this evil reality when they would step on the stairs, and like literally they would like die, but then like after they die, they'd like come back to life before they'd go to the stairs. Just weird time shifts and time warps with them. Yeah, if you see a random stairs in the forest, don't step on it. Don't walk on it. Stay away from it. Literally, don't walk on them fucking stairs. There's something different. They're to another time space. They're to another time space, and it's a bad one. It's a bad one. What a weird thing. What a weird manifestation. Yeah, I'm still gonna do something on Mel's Well too. Mel's Well. That's another weird story. Then I've been watching this dude on Facebook. This Rastafarian dude. He tells how he astral travels, right? He'll remote view or astral travel. And he said he remote viewed to this location deep underground. And in this location, it was like a super advanced laboratory. And the beings in the said laboratory were of evil. He said they were of pure evil. Some of them were little. They were like 3 to 4 feet tall, little aliens, which were the gray aliens. And they were like the little minions running around. Minions, right? Little minions running around for this ultimate being that would come in. And it's the only known place, and it's super, super protected. But if we got to this place, he said, if you could destroy it, it would destroy all of the devil's work. So he's basically saying, down there in this lab, he said he had you could see the egg of a woman and the seed of a man, okay? And they would have both in this lab, and basically they were using both to create all kinds of different humanoid, hybrid human beings, mixing all kinds of DNAs, doing all kinds of the devil's work, he said. It was the devil's lair in the devil's place where he made up the evils that the earth is rid of, or the earth is ridden with. And he makes up all these hybrids like werewolves, vampires. I know it sounds crazy. Reptilian hybrids, all that. And it's done in a lab in deep within the underground. It's the supposedly probably Enki's lair, the serpent Enki's lair, where he does his experimentation against God's will on mankind. Demons, yeah, sure. The black goo of meteorite form. Yeah, I believe that. And I think they're going to use them for war, possibly against the God and the archangels. I still think that they're preparing for a war. I still think they think they can take over. Who was it that was telling me something crazy about the whole shutdown with Facebook? The whole shutdown with Facebook had something to do with the reptilians and Zuckerberg's soul and a disconnect that took place between the two. So Facebook shut down to revamp the energy for his soul, of which he had already signed over to the reptilians, something like that. It was like a practice run. Yeah, something odd. I've heard that it was for trafficking, human trafficking, as well, being that somebody blew the whistle inside Facebook that there was human trafficking being going on there. Yeah, it's Dre that was talking about that. Yeah, he ain't here tonight. I don't see him talking here tonight. Monstro, my guy, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad you're still watching my lives, bro. Hope all is good with you, man. I hope nothing I did or said in any of your stories was bothersome in any way, shape, or form. Or if you want more recognition or anything for them stories, bro, just let me know. Just say the word. I'd be willing to even have you on and talk about them, bro. Jen Psaki, for real, though? Is Zuckerberg human? Not anymore. I believe that. What's happening, man? I believe Zuckerberg sold his soul a long time ago. Did you guys see that newest one with Walt Disney and Kurt Russell? I know you saw that. Walt Disney and Kurt Russell. Did you guys see that one? That TikTok, bro, that guy made? He had so many hits on that. He had like 500,000 likes. Basically, there's this theory that when Walt Disney died, right? His last words were Kurt Russell. Walt Disney's last words were Kurt Russell. And then this guy was talking about how, and then he showed a bunch of pictures of Kurt Russell in all these movies. And then he shows at the end of this video the movie Get Out. I don't know if y'all seen that movie, the movie Get Out. Get Out was basically about old white folks that would figure out a way to hypnotize themselves and their consciousness into the body, and they would grab young black folks from the city and kidnap them, and basically they would put consciousnesses of these elderly white folks, of these rich people that were about ready to die. They would put their conscience and bury the conscience of the person, of the consciousness of the actual person, way within their being, and give their body to the consciousness of the old white people. Okay? Now, yeah, drinking the tea, ting, 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 and it would hypnotize them, and it would suppress their consciousness way in this deep, dark cell, if you will, in their body, and the older white person's consciousness would come to light. They'd have to have surgery and everything. It was weird, but basically, he played that at the end, saying that Walt Disney was actually put into and stole Kurt Russell's consciousness, and that Walt Disney was actually Kurt Russell. Boom, right? What the fuck? Like, all movies have truth, fam. Like, all movies have truth, you know what I'm saying? That Get Out, that shit's real, yo. They'll hypnotize you, and they can suppress your consciousness and steal your body.
and give it to somebody who's already passed on. Like, fuck, dude. Weird shit. Yeah, a lot like that, yes. Yes, exactly. He's forever young. And then he'll probably choose somebody else at the end of his life as Kurt Russell. And do you guys remember Kurt Russell in Soldier? That was a sweet movie. It kind of reminded me of like a possessed person in that movie. Cinnamon Life. This is it. This is the last one, guys. Well, apparently it was Walt Disney and Goldie. He was stone cold in that movie. Yeah, bro. Boss shit. Soldier was awesome. Yeah, the snake scene. Yup. When he figures out how to beat all them robots. Death Proof. Oh, yeah. Quentin Tarantino. Mm-hmm. She got that leg for a gun. A gun for a leg. Ooh, yeah. Yup. The Monsters, Inc. Yup. Isn't that evil? H.P. Lovecraft wrote a lot about that. Most of his stuff is known to be fiction, but I tend to believe that H.P. Lovecraft believed the stories he was telling. If you talk to him, I think he would tell you that everything he told was he had heard of truth. Yeah, be careful about the kid stuff, guys. Get too far into it. I'll shut it off. But H.P. Lovecraft used to talk about that, and he would say that, like these occults would worship these black meteors, and they would sacrifice because their blood would get on the meteor, and the demons would come out of the meteor afterwards. I don't know. That wasn't a fictional H.P. Lovecraft story. The Supreme Tie Line, like Urantia? Are you talking about? Yeah, right? Bam. Ultimate Timeline. Like, Oh, like Tara and all them? Yeah, probably Tara. Planet Tara. And what happened? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Ascension timeline. It's in the Ascension Bible. It talks about the original planet of Earth, the original beings on Earth. That is a wild story. Have you guys been seeing about all this underground training they're doing with our soldiers? They're doing a lot of underground training now. Supposedly, the U.S. has this drill that uses a plasma or a nuclear tech. I'm gonna get fat living here, guys. I can't do it. Supposedly they have this drill that can drill at 60 miles per hour. And behind it, as it's drilling, the walls behind it will be left like marble. And they'll be porous, so they can gather all the air needed for life. And that someday, when revelations to take place or the world ends again, they're going to take large portions of humanity down into these tunnels to continue on mankind, but they will be slaves to the elites that are owning of these said tunnels in the area that they are let live in. It's the hum, yeah. And it will literally leave like porous, but that's what I thought was the craziest. It left like porous marble walls that would allow oxygen in. Well, hello there. The Space Force, we added that so we could start battling with the cosmos as well, or start taking part. If you've ever read any of Randy Kramer's, or heard any of his accounts, dude, Randy Kramer's accounts will blow your fucking mind. Randy Kramer's accounts will blow your mind. He talks about going to war with reptilians on Mars, being captured. He tells about how he was captured and he was prisoner to these reptilians for 6 or 7 months in a row. Talks about how they were tall and strong, they could fly. Like, basically talks about all this different stuff. Dude, Randy Kramer, so what happened with Randy Kramer, I believe, is people were wanting to blow the whistle on all the things that's going on in Space Force, like the Giants, the Reptilians, the Galactic Federation. So tomorrow I'm going to tell a really cool account. This gentleman, on one of my videos on Instagram, he started popping off and telling his story of how the humankind came to be. And talks about the Galactic Federation. He talks about the cat people that were humanoid hybrids that were actually very, very highly intelligent. They actually are the originators and creators of cats on Earth today. In that they are considered, he talks about how they're considered the creator race in the universe, and that the cat people actually are the originators and the creators of humankind. I don't know, pretty interesting account. I'm gonna mull over what he said about it and kind of put a timeline together on my own and talk about it tomorrow in my live. But yeah, like even in Egypt, cat people were worshipped. All throughout history, there's signs that cat people were of existence. The Sphinx is a half cat hybrid. You see a lot of cat hybrids, and even with pictures of Jesus, you see weird cat hybrids that look like they have human faces. The Galactic Authority is the Galactic Federation. It's just comprised of all of the good factions of light that want to take part in basically the good. It's like it's like Star Wars, the Empire and the Republic. Same concept. The Empire and the Republic, same concept. That's the Galactic Federation would be the Republic, right? Supposedly it's made up of a lot of good, love, and light beings, closer to the human race, like it'd be the tall whites, the Lemurians. There's bird species that are involved, that are birds they're really highly ascended. Cat species that are involved, basically all kinds of different types of good species. Like, dude, when I was watching Zohar Stargate the other day on TV, this guy that was part of the Space Force said that a group of ant people in the Sahara, they got blown up or something like that, or they got buried or they died, these group of ant people. And he is literally like fucking crying, bro, because he was so close and cool with these ant people that he was choked up when he was talking about their death. Like, I'm sitting here like, bruh, are you faking it that good? Because he's like literally choking up as he's telling this story about these ant people that lost their lives, and that they look bad, but they're not. They're good. The ant people are inherently good. That some of the beings that the people think are evil just because of how they look. And that's just like, it goes back to race, right? How people treat people because of how they look. Like a lot of these weird beings in the Galactic Federation we're so scared of them that we treat them how they look, basically. But actually they're inherently good by humans. Yeah, we generally, things we fear, we generally destroy. When really we need to look and put all that aside. Even the ugly ass ant beings, if they're ugly, that's sorry. That's like, we got to learn to put looks aside, dude, and we got to learn to feel heart chakra. That's the best. I think that's the way that beings tell in the universe who is inherently good and who is not, by their heart chakra. I'm serious. That way, like, you're not just scared of everything that are weird. There you go. I found on Antarctica a perfect replica of an ant being in a megalithic structure. You don't even want to know half the beings I've seen in megalithic structures all over Antarctica. You don't even want to know. There you go. Thundercats battle. See? There you go, Maurice. Well said. He said the Thundercats battle reptilians. The Thundercats. There you go. The Thundercats battle reptilians. There you go. All this shit is just put throughout. It's trickled throughout, guys. If you look at it throughout our history, it's been told. It's been put right in front of our face. A lot. A lot. The ant people are weird. For sure. But yeah, this stuff has been put in front of our face so much. It's not even funny. Truth in cartoons, yo. That's what's up. Roddy Piper. What's happening, GM Chris? Basically the CERN stuff was scary, and I'm legitimately scared of the reptilians and the infiltrating of our higher powers. I'm scared of that. Being our officials, I'm truly, genuinely scared of that. Corey Good's definitely not lying, dude. In the cryo chambers and stuff. There's a story about, you guys have heard my Antarctica Navy SEALs story. Their encounter when they went into the depths of Antarctica. Under the ice, found megaliths, and they also found giants. They also found a large cavern that was miles wide, dug throughout the inner of the earth, that traveled all the way up through the entire America, all the way under and through the entire continent in the continent of the Americas, South and North and South America, all the way up to Canada and the Northwest Territories. This tunnel also traveled to Egypt, Romania, and China. Free Jack, huh? Interesting. What happened? Your girl left you, bro? Happens to the best of us. It does, it does. I can't find him, the ghost dude on YouTube. I'm going to find him and I'll get tomorrow. Bro, if she left you like that, it's because she found another man, bro. I hate to tell you that, but that's the heartbreaking truth. If she just bailed like that, bro, she had an option. She took it. Possibly. I do believe the firmament could have been broken already. But yeah, I'm probably going to get going here in a second. Grab some shut-eye. I'm tired. I can't do all-nighters anymore. See, that's the thing. I know. That's why I wonder if the flood was when it broke. All right, peace out. What you talking about, Willis? Have a good one, buddy. Thank you. We can talk about the clones a little bit tomorrow. Quitter? I didn't know you were even on here, Miss Zephyr. I was wondering if you still liked me anymore. I was wondering if you were mad at me. I'll be getting a hold of you, Miss Lacey. Or Lori. I knew that, Lori. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know my really favorite karaoke song. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna keep going live tonight. Find more content tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.